Guys, today I'm going to read a fanfic about one of my favorite ships. It's called Skylox. It's about these two YouTubers, Deadlock and Sky Does Minecraft. Now, they're really good friends, and it's like they know about it, but it's not real. It's just like something they joke about all the time with each other. And this is called The Best by Kuru Maka. And here it goes. Hey, Sky! A man in question turned around to face the owner of this voice, a Canadian dressed in a plaid shirt and jeans, who was smiling widely. What's up, Mitch? Sky asked, the sunbeams reflecting off his sunglasses. Mitch smiled, promptly beaming, a kind of reminding Sky of when he smiled when he was with his friend, when he was with Baka. There's a new recruit who came a few minutes ago. Sky's eyes rose, and it only makes Mitch smile wider. He turned around and waved until he heard the commander behind himself. They entered one of the buildings, a plain one-story house, where Sky could see a young man sitting on the recruit chair in front of a table. The commander and Mitch sat opposite sides. Sky looked at the new guy up and down, his shoulder-length brown hair matching his eyes. He was wearing a white V-neck and black skinny jeans. There were black and green headphones hanging around his neck. Sky's eyebrows rose yet again. The boy didn't exactly look like he could fight well. What's your name? Sky asked. Ty, the boy responded, eyes raising to meet with Sky's shade. There was no fear or hesitation. And Sky liked that. Well, can you fight? Sky asked, his arms crossing themselves on their own accord. Of course I can, Ty said, sounding slightly upset. Like he couldn't believe that they would ask this ridiculous question. Really? Show me. Guy challenged, putting his own sword out of his hand, out and Mitch handing his to Ty. Never would Guy thought he would lose to a new recruit. But now, panting on the ground, with Ty standing over him, the gold blade of Mitch's sword at his throat. He had to admit it. The boy Ty would make a very fine addition to his army. Exactly as Sky predicted, Ty was indeed an excellent addition. Always outstanding every other shoulder and making it to the top of any chart. He was promoted multiple times already. In 1 year of a span, he became Sky's left hand of sorts. Much like Mitch was, he was put in charge of his own squad. The soldiers under him became the best ones in the whole army. To put it lightly, there were many jealous of him. His looks, let's face it, he looked really good. And most of all, his success. He was the target of daily plans, but he took it surprisingly well, Sky noticed. Dirty looks, though he ignored them and looked mostly straight ahead, and was the center of everyday rumors, though seemingly went in 1 ear and out the other. This is another thing Sky adored in Ty. How he managed not to get angry when people literally talked shit about him in front of him was beyond Sky. He got another promotion, became general, and taking the duty and took over the whole army when Sky wasn't present. Of course, no one knew that Sky was keeping watch over his general. The ranks have gone significantly worse, sometimes making Sky want to lash out and tell himself to get down, do a million sit-ups, literally. But Sky took the prank calmly. In fact, the only time he actually saw the brunette raise his voice was when talking to all the soldiers to make sure they all heard the commander, and that came from Sky himself. The dirty looks were still ignored, and the general always looked straight ahead, the person he was talking to, or some papers he was carrying. The rumors have nearly gotten unbearable, all reaching Sky's ears and making him want to gag. People speak shit about Ty, and the young general didn't even mind, only telling them to quiet when he couldn't hear his own words. Sky gasped as he unable to react properly. One morning, when the brunette was returning to his private room, the commander followed him. He stopped Ty before he could close the door and placed a gloved hand on his shoulder. sir. The brunette turned around. Tied chocolate eyes with hint of velvet and glazing skies and shades of one. Are you okay, Ty? Sky asked, letting go of Ty's clenched shoulder. The general managed a small smile, though Sky could clearly see it in his face. I'm absolutely right, Commander. If you say so, Sky muttered, turning to leave. The door to Ty's room closed, but Sky stood standing in the empty, silent hall. He was pretty sure Ty wasn't alright. And to put it, he wanted to prove right, but oh, how he wished he wasn't. When he could clearly hear small broken sobs coming from behind the metal door. Sky, not missing a second, grabbed the metal door, but it was as expected, locked. The army's doors are pretty much indestructible, so Sky didn't even try to burst them down. He just leaned against them, ear on cold metal, listening to Ty's whimpers. Ty was sitting on the bed, firmly grasping in his hands a picture of two young boys holding each other, smiling widely into the camera. One was Ty, although a good few years younger, and the other was brunette, holding a model of a spaceship. Their faces were blurry and droplets falling onto granite paper of Ty's eyes. Pale, shaking fingers held onto the paper. This owner's shaky shoulders were broken into sobs, leaving his clenched lips. Jason, the brunette mumbled, gazing into the picture. I'm sorry. I really am. He managed to force it between gasps. I'll avenge you, but I'm sorry. But I can't do this anymore. I just can't. The hands moved to his face, hastily trying to wipe away any fluid tears falling down his cheek. I can't take it anymore. I guess I'll see you in a second. The picture was gently set on clean covers, and Ty's shaky hands reaching into his belt, into the small knife holder on his right hip. His finger curls around the black handle, his bloodshot eyes watching the unnatural white light reflecting off the unflawed, sharpened blade. His eyes flickered onto the wet picture, and his hand grasped the blade tighter. He grasped the picture and hugged it tightly to his chest. He took a shaky breath and let his mind wander. He could see him, smiling face as he ran around the backyard holding his toy, making weird and funny noises, and pretended he was in space. I would stand by, acting as whatever film his brother wanted him to do. The two of them having epic battle. A hand grasping the military knife in the depth. Trembling hand stopping in front of his chest. The knife tip tempting only inches away from his white shirt. But Jason, his imagination, stopped in front of him, shoving the toy ship into his hand. I want to be the bad guy, Ty. He squealed, raising his arms and making claws out of them. Roar! Ty took off running, pretending to be scared, outstretching and holding the toy, waving it around. His hand trembled at another glance at the picture and then crushed back against his chest, resetting it. His hand settled and bringing the blade closer, getting to Mitch and taking the spare keys. Took Sky only a few minutes. It was entirely his own opinion. As he fumbled coming with the key, he called out, Ty, are you still in there? There was an audible gasp and a few very loud, shaky breaths, and Ty tried to compose himself. It sounded at least a bit convincing, but it didn't work very well. Yeah, don't come in, he went, his voice breaking. The blade shook slightly, but Ty's hand stayed uncomfortable, positioned over his chest, glancing at the door and at the picture. He was torn between two choices. He could either move his hand and finally meet his brother again, or he could put the knife down and continue being with Sky. The choices were very attractive, and Ty's heart was torn, and he was to choose one. Sky was a great man and a great commander, and paid Ty to know how he felt feeling for him, feeling He shouldn't have developed, but he did. After reminding himself that the feelings were not reproached, in the last glance at the door with his wrist flicked, the shooting pain only lasting a split second, stalked through his boy. Finally managed to open the metal door. Crushing under his breath as he did, the guy shoved it open and barged in, stopping dead in his tracks in the middle of the spacious room. Before him, sight that he would never imagined happening. Ty was laying in his bed in front of his white shirt, bathed in crimson. The metal knife, the knife Guy gave to him, sticking out of his chest, there was blood all around and slowly dripping onto the picture that had fallen next to the bed. Guy slowly bent down and picked it up, using his hand to wipe away the blood. A pair of two identical brown eyes staring back at him, looking innocent and happy. He could identify Ty in a heartbeat, but he didn't know who the other boy was. The picture fell from his hand, landing back into the slow and puddle of Ty's blood. Ty's knees gave way and they hit the bare floor with a painful thud and a sickening flash. His shaded eyes gazed onto his favorite member of the army, the boy he kept watch over, yet could not see past his facade, the boy who he adored, yet knew so little about, the boy he loved, yet couldn't save. So anyway, guys, that was the best. It's a fanfic about Sky and Deadlocks. I'll put the channels in the description. Like, I thought it was, I give it 7 out of 10 stars. It's really well written, and I cry every time. You might have heard my voice shaking, but I have read this so many times, like I snap right out of that. But one of my favorite shit. And anyway, see you guys later.